Hello and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You are watching Daily Dive. It is Friday, last day of January 31st, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes in back-to-back Banditland, New York. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube and Roku. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports YouTube channel for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, we're going to talk to Professor Adam, affectionately known as Adam Levi, talk about three games this weekend and hype them up the best way he knows how with stats and more. Poutine Pat, aka Pat Gregoire, from Coolbeck, Canada, and OTCB podcast to talk about the betting angles for this week. And of course, Pick'em, featuring Mike and producer Joe's picks and best bet. And boy, am I on a heater finally. We want to first let you know that this show, well, first of all, we are on season 3. I completely missed that graphic, by the way. But this show is presented by tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12letters OZsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website, which includes every sport and all your favorite artist concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12onsports.com. Without further ado, it is time to bring in a guest who's full of nuggets and information on It Wobble, Lacrosse Matrix podcast, Preston's Picks, etc. Adam Levy, how are you today, sir?
I am doing great, Mike. Thank you for having me on again on a Friday. Very excited to be here. I got to ask you, you mentioned the Broadway tickets available on 12 Ounce Sports. Do you have a favorite Broadway show?
I've never gotten into that. Maybe Lion King. I don't know if they still do that.
It's one of the longest running shows on Broadway, if not the longest, I think, actually.
Fair enough. What is your favorite Broadway show?
It's a really good question. I also have no idea. I didn't, have a response prepared if you were going to come back at me. I just thought I would, be courteous and see if you had a show. And then maybe those 12-ounce sports ticket purchasers would be like, wow, Mike Carvelis loves what? And then they'd go and buy 10,000 tickets.
Did you and Preston see Mufasa? Because I wanted to see that, like the movie. Obviously.
No, we have not. He's just beginning to sit through feature films. The first one he saw was Sonic 3, and he loved it.
Oh.
So that was awesome.
Good stuff. By the way, your microphone sounds amazing. You must have got that thing fully engaged now. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Well, good. Thank you. It takes a lot of work to sound and look good, but I try every day. My wife helps me out a lot. I give her all the credit. So,
Fair enough. It must be nice to have a woman's touch. Preston's picks. Did Preston make his picks this week?
He has, yeah. We have not submitted the video yet, but it will be up in a few moments. You can get your picks in on officepoolJunkie.com by 5 p.m., so make sure to go do that. Very exciting. I know Poutine Pat, I believe, has made his picks. Very excited about that. It's going to be interesting down this second half of the season to see who's going to pull away and win. Does Preston have a great second half? Has he been studying the film from the first half of the season to make a big run for the victory?
More importantly, does Adam Levy have access to said film, which is good?
Well, I don't want to give away too much, Mike.
That's a good point. Lacrosse Matrix podcast, what's the latest on that? And then we'll jump into it.
Yeah, we're going to have some great guests. Preston has been under the weather lately, so we've been taking care of him. He's missed the second half of the week of school with fever and cold and such, so that's been important for us to spend time focusing on him and getting some work done. But there'll be some episodes next week. Probably going to get Connor Kirst, try and get him on the pod.
Okay.
Would love to see that. His brother, CJ Kirst, I'm actually wearing the City Lax hat.
I was wondering.
Is doing the hashtag GBs for NYC initiative, where he and Chris Kavanaugh of Notre Dame, every ground ball that they pick up this NCAA season, $10 will be donated to City Lax. This is now the third year in the running. Chris and Pat Kavanaugh did it last year, raising tons of awareness. Even Pat McAfee took notice, so that's huge. Obviously, what City Lax is doing to help grow the game of lacrosse in New York City is invaluable.
That's a good point. You are an NYC boy, as we know.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into it. Vancouver, Halifax. That game is it's tonight, I believe, right?
It's tonight, yeah, 6:30.
Okay, yeah, so early. Halifax loves those early games.
Well, so they are an hour ahead from the East Coast, so that's why they got to do that.
Which still blows my mind. MJG79 says Curse Boys are wicked.
All of them are. It's one of those families. There are a handful of them in lacrosse. The Spalinas, who we'll get to see more of as time goes on in the National Lacrosse League, are another one of those. But the Curse brothers are a beast.
Can't wait for Preston, Levi, and little Junior Carvelis to start their rounds too. That hasn't happened for me yet, by the way. All right, so Vancouver, Halifax. Last time we saw Halifax, they were on the tail end of a back-to-back against Rochester. It feels like forever we last saw them, but they're still around. Vancouver just played 2 games recently, got against Ottawa. That was fun. So what we got with these 2 teams, Vancouver obviously making the big trip from west to east. How are you feeling about this game, sir?
Yeah, well, first of all, I believe Poutine Pat is going to be on the call for that game in Halifax, so I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about it. Vancouver is a team that I'm definitely feeling really hyped up about. Not only Aiden Walsh having a great season in between the pipes, he's credited not only former NLL goaltender Tyler Richards for tons of support, but the veteran defense in front of him. Then moving up, now you've got a very reliable, solid faceoff guy, an American in Alex Stothakis, who has really performed excellently so far and is going to pose an interesting challenge for Jake Withers, who let me see if I can get the number before the end of the show, Mike, but the way that, Jake Withers 53% at the faceoff dot this year, which for him is very subpar. And I think the most interesting thing is that he has been struggling, particularly against rookies. Yes, he's faced Sisselberger and Naso and guys like that, and now he's going to be facing Stothakis. But I believe he's actually against rookies alone this year. He has about a 43% face-off win percentage, which is crazy to think that this guy, who is one of the greatest to ever be at the Face-Off X, is not only just at 50% this year, but is below 50% against rookies.
Yeah, as a face-off matter guy and as a Withers truther, it is shocking because I don't know if it's Stothakis and even Ignacio, who we haven't really seen much before. I know he's not a rookie. So I don't know if it's that they're that good, or someone mentioned to me like Withers' injury coming to start the season. I was like, does that play a part? I'm not sure. That is a very interesting facet of the thing.
Yeah, it does seem like there is this new wave of face-off guys. You mentioned Ignacio, throw him in there. One of the young Canadian guys we've been talking about, so many Americans, Naso being another one of those. So it's really, very interesting to see that this American push for guys at the face-off dot, which I have heard even going back to when Trevor Baptiste was joining the National Lacrosse League. The differences at the face-off dot and the face-off X in the field game, there are key differences, and as many players will say, you can learn so much playing box if you're a field guy. That goes as well at the face-off, so it does help them a lot. So you can see that this does appear to be a trend, which is very awesome. Just as another quick note for Halifax that I think is just notable is that they are 1-2 at home at the Nest so far this season. If they were to fall to 1-3 at about this halfway point of the season, that would be a little bit alarming, especially with the amount of passion and excitement and literally sold out crowds that they are getting. If that is not helping translate to wins and they fall to 1-3, now getting close to the most losses they've had at home in a season since moving to Halifax, that's notable. So you would hope if you're a Halifax fan that doesn't happen, but Vancouver are feisty, they're passionate, and they're ready to go. Adam Charlambides, those young offensive rookies, and Jonathan Peshko and Peyton Cormier, they're ready for a challenge.
Question for you before we move to the next game. How effects we know can score.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of keeping things away from their goal, which is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver, maybe it was Ottawa's defense, but they kind of walked along and limped along against Ottawa. So I'm wondering, can Thunderbird's offense, like Clark Peterson, who's got 7 goals in the last 3 games, he had 3 in the first 3. I just looked that up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible Halifax's offense can keep this one close?
Well, yeah, I mean, they showed it before their loss and only 9 goals against the Rochester Nighthawks in the last game. They had 19 the previous time against Rochester, and then 14, I believe it was, against Albany. So it's a team that we've always known is very offensively capable. Obviously, lots of changes this year. Randy Stotts has been a fantastic distributor. It has. I don't necessarily know what happened last week, although the Rochester defense and also Riley Hutchcraft did play very well in that game, as he has at various points throughout the season. But I don't suspect that they will be held under 10 goals again, despite Aiden Walsh being so good. That's just that would be very uncharacteristic and unexpected of this team.
I will say this, for a person who has a potential daily show coming next year, you segueing Riley Hutchcraft into Rochester, Philadelphia is really good. That was impressive. So let's do Rochester, Philadelphia here. I'm asking you, do we see, because we got Daymood versus Hutchcraft, we've got 2 teams who can score a bunch, but do you think, Adam Levy, that we're going to see offense or defense in this one more?
So first, let me just say that I was having some fun with that little tweet, and also, as I think everybody knows, and it will always be known in lacrosse lore and history, that you and producer Joe and everyone involved with Daily Dive, you guys are the OGs of the Monday to Friday show. So whoever picks one up in the future, however many they eventually will be, you guys were the first to do it, and you will always get credit for that. So in this one, though, I do think that Philadelphia, who I've been very consistently high on all season long, especially with Joe Rezateritz, your boy, and Mitch Jones, guest of this show, and fantastic impersonator of you, has been playing incredibly well. So I think, that team, for me, is very impressive. Now, we'll get to see what this team looks like without Scott Dominey, who not only has been a focal point in transition and including having a strong defensive presence there, but also the fact that, he is an energy and spark plug for that team. He will be out for the season with the ACL injury. You can catch that article that I wrote about on Inside Lacrosse. He had a very candid conversation with me about the injury and his return, which is going to be happening in probably 9 to 10 months. So it'll be an interesting game, but Philly, they're looking good at home. They've got 3 times as many home wins as they did last year, so that's a huge accomplishment.
Oh, good.
The fans are excited. Obviously, there's Eagles mania going on, so that is also going to get people excited the week before the Super Bowl to come out and support the Philadelphia Wings in Philadelphia. I do think that Philadelphia takes this one, mostly because Rochester still has not figured out a way to limit the amount of shots that they're giving up. So no matter how much Riley Hutchcraft is excellent in net and has improved greatly, the Philadelphia Wings offense is so potent now, and they've also been so efficient. They're literally, in terms of total shots to converting those into goals, are the most efficient team in the National Lacrosse League. When you are the team that is letting the most shots up per game, you just cannot have that for the Rochester Nighthawks, and I think that all of these components spell for a Philadelphia Wings win.
Yeah, especially, first of all, a couple things here. Power play for Philadelphia has been electric. And as for the Rochester's defense, I will mention Riley Hutchcraft's 79.1 save percentage. Who saw that coming? Only Adam Levy. 19 block shots for Ian Lord, by far leads the league. And caused turnovers. My man Taylor Jensen's got 11. Of course, Matt Gilray has 13. But there are some signs of life on the defensive side. As for Philly's defense, I have to ask you, let's say Rochester's offense catches fire. Which guys on defense for Philly are you looking forward to seeing?
That
minus
is
Scott Nominee?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good question. I mean, they've got a bunch of Panther City guys. They do bring in Evan Messenger. We get to see his team debut. He's played a little bit of forward, but also played some defense. He's played for Tracy Koluski at Panther City. So you've got another Panther City connection guy coming in to that Philadelphia Wings back end there. So he's going to slot in there. I'm excited to see how he can contribute. And I think
Connor
that
Sellers.
Connor Sellers has been great. He's also, his family is at every game. They're super supportive. Great big team guy. I think that there's a lot of underratedness of this defense, and I love Nick DeMude. I think he is, and I know I'm going to exhaust you by saying what
Do
a
it.
nice guy. What an incredibly nice, kind individual he is. He, unlike Zach Higgins, the former Wings goaltender, has not played up to that same level as Higgins as they expected him to as they came in. So I feel like that Philly defense isn't getting the credit that they deserve. But you mentioned Sellers and other guys like that. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for the game to see how it goes either way. And by the way, Teddy and Pat's picks randomly just got posted. So since we're on it, Halifax for Pat, and also in this game we got Philadelphia for both of them. So there you go.
Let's see, what's Pat's
record?
percentage? Oh my goodness, Pat. I've been joking around with him all season long that he's got to get above 500. Last week was a good one for him. Good to see him above 500. One of the most knowledgeable guys in all of lacrosse. And again, I told you I'd exhaust you with this. One of the nicest guys and most accommodating guys in all of the games. So good to see him on a winning streak right now.
Pat Gregoire, are you available to come on? Yes or no? Oh, so just because you said that, I that was not planned. By the way, but
That was very.
I just realized
kind
your
of you,
picks
Adam.
got posted.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to give you credit when credit is due, and boy, have I been giving you too much
Yes, you have.
criticism.
No,
It's-
not too much. It's definitely warranted. Went on a little bit of a cold streak. Now it's time to turn things around, and I'm using you as motivation. So
Good,
that's what we're
good,
going to
good,
do here.
good.
So keep chirping because it seems to be working.
I will. You know what? I gotta start chirping Preston because he is on a cold streak right now, and it's getting like, what's going on, bud? Like
Hey.
we try.
Hey, tough love worked for me, so maybe it'll work for Preston too.
I hope so. Duly noted.
All right, for the sake of Adam Levy, I will let Pat go until the rest of the break. But thank you for Pat for just saying hello to Adam.
Yeah, good to see you, Pat, and good luck on the
Anytime.
call.
Thank you very much. Again, I love the toque that you're wearing.
How do they
No,
call it toque in Canada? It's a
Thank
beanie.
you. Since I've moved back to the States, Nikki keeps calling it a toque. It's a hat. This is
It's a
a
toque.
hat.
It's a
yeah,
toque.
yeah. We literally, you're rehashing wifey arguments in the household now.
Oh no! I'm sorry. You kicked me out of the room. Let's go.
Ah, good for you, Pat. All right, so toque is what I thought it was originally, but it's apparently too.
I mean, I like that. I just think it complicates things. The world is so complicated as it is. The amount of names we have for different things. Let's just call a spade, and move on. Oh,
Jeez,
Hunter.
I love the pigeons thing. That's always good. That's cracking me up the last couple of days. All right, last game for you, Adam. I don't want to drain the viewers out a little bit. Toronto Rock, Colorado Mammoth. For me, it's my game of the week. Is it your game of the week? And talk about it.
100%. We spoke about it on Inside the World of Box Lacrosse. Steven Stamper and I did on our show that is on every Wednesday. So that is also now on Inside Lacrosse. Blue Squatch Productions produces that show, so definitely go check that out. But yeah, this for me is the game of the week. Not only where Colorado, although last week, they needed those last final minutes to really make something of what was otherwise an underwhelming performance. They've overperformed at least, or I don't want to say overperformed. That's not necessarily correct, but they've done so much better than last season already this year as a healthy team. But then you have Toronto, who is recently healthy and looking fantastic now that they are almost fully healthy. Mark Matthews, hope that everything there heals up. We'll see him next year. Hopefully he's back and better than ever. I know he's getting older, but he is a fierce competitor, and we'd love to see him back on the floor. But this Toronto team, man, they look great when they're healthy. And I think that almost all of us, maybe even you, Mike, I forget what your preseason predictions were, but Toronto was up there to compete for the NLL Cup. And I think that if they can continue not only to do what they've been doing the last 2 weeks, but if they continue to build upon that throughout the rest of the season, this is a team that, sorry, Buffalo fans, is going to challenge you if you meet in the playoffs. I think that the time is now for Toronto to make something happen, spoil the Buffalo three-peat, get in the playoffs, make some noise. This is your year.
Let's go Chiefs! Oh, I'm sorry, I got carried away.
I do not endorse Let's Go Chiefs. I want to make that very clear.
Fair enough.
I also don't support Let's Go Eagles. I'm a Ravens fan, so everyone in the comments give me a lot of flack for that one. Not Flacco. Don't give me flack.
Oh, so give me a lot of flack. I was going to go there. Good. Adam, who wins this game for you, by the way? Not just wondering.
Between the Chiefs and the Eagles?
No. But we can do that one too.
So Chiefs and Eagles, I think the Chiefs take it. I think, and I've seen your tweets, Mike. I think that, the Taylor Swift component of this and Travis Kelce, and also the success of the Kelce podcast is just too powerful. I think that there's a lot going on there, but this isn't a show about conspiracies. Going back to the Toronto Rock and the Colorado Mammoth, I think it's going to be so close. And it really, I think I even said on Inside the World of Box Lacrosse with Stamper, I said it's a coin flip. It's really going to be one of those games where I think it's going to be incredibly fierce, incredibly exciting. But I'm going to run with the story. That's usually my fallback. So let's go Toronto.
Let's do it. Adam, you are amazing. Send Preston our best wishes in health and other things. And tell Nikki it is on Beanie, by the way.
Beanie, yeah. Well, I've tried to say that too. She literally will not budge at all. It is toque all the way. If I don't call it a toque, it is, yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too, Mike.
Adam Levy in his beanie is always a pleasure. Adam Levy LAX on Twitter. Adam _Levy _LAX on Instagram. That went longer than I thought it would. When we come back, let's talk to Pat Gregoire about betting angles. You're not going to want to miss this.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water. Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUSTPODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thundercrack, Pat is back. Just a reminder, we have an audio-only podcast version of the show. Go to Spotify and search Daily Dive. OTCB, did it drop this week, or is Teddy flaking again?
No flaking Teddy this week. We didn't record the pod. We had Thomas Kizek on the Human Crowbar. What was the other nicknames he's being called there? T-Bone.
I like that.
Yeah, he's got some good handles there. It was an awesome conversation. So that will either has dropped already, or perhaps it's dropping later today. So keep your eyes out for that as we're getting a live check-in right now.
Yeah, so you're going to be curious. I'm just making sure. Bills hasn't yet.
All right, it hasn't yet. So it's going to probably drop before. Oh my goodness, I got to figure this out before the game tonight.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to drop before the first game tonight. Like I said, Teddy was back. It was kind of, I got to give you a lot of kudos. Hosting a show solo, talking to yourself, not the easiest thing to do.
You did do that. That's right. That's good.
So good for you.
Job.
Good for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm not the master like you of getting your takes off by yourself. So
it's been a long time coming. So just to let you know, folks, Pat's picks have been released.
Yes, they have.
That was a great time to drop that during the show, by the way. A lot of different picks between you and Teddy.
I got to make up some ground here. I got to make up some ground.
Yeah, for sure. So in this game, well, you need drinking any water? Or are you good?
I'm good. Okay,
we're
good. We're ready to roll.
So let's do Albany versus Buffalo.
Okay.
This is a finals rematch, which is the easiest way to hype this game up. And for the betting angles of this game, the Firewolves are actually underdogs by 3.5 on Bet365. In full disclosure, if you guys want to use Bet365, go ahead. If you saw my tweet, who cares? On the same book, Buffalo's 4-1, a little bit steep. How are you feeling about? I mean, it's 2.5 everywhere else. I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, at CoolBet right now, it's at 2.5, but you're getting some juice there at plus 103. So you're getting actually a really solid number. But if you can hang a 3.5, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think this is a good spot for Albany to keep it close here. Historically, they've played quite well against this Buffalo team. They've gone into Banditland and won before. And to be quite frank, the time is now. And I thought you did a pretty good job basically breaking down that it is time to put up or shut up for Albany. And even if they do come out with a win here, it's still going to be tough sledding for them to get back into things. If they lose here, it's going to be even more challenging. So for me, I might be putting my foot in my mouth here, but this is more of a hungry dog runs faster play, like we like to say here. And these Firewolves are starving dogs right now. Bandits will win this game. I just think if you can get a 3.5, you can get a 2.5, especially that 3, I'd be taking it. And in considering what we've seen from Doug Jamieson so far this year, especially down the stretch, I'd be thinking about taking the over. But the Buffalo Bandits with the second best goals against average in the league, second most blocked shots, caused turnovers on a plenty. So for me, I'm not betting the over, not betting the under, but just was maybe thinking about it. But when you look at that Bandits defense, I can't take it over.
Question for you, and then I'll get to the next game here. So I noticed that Buffalo, albeit a 5-game sample size, is it concerning to you if you are betting Albany even plus 2.5 that Buffalo has the NLL record again after only 5 games of goal differential? Does that concern you or not really because of small sample size?
Well, yeah, it concerns me. It's terrifying. I don't feel great about taking the 2.5 because the Bandits have been on an absolute warpath. You mentioned the historic goals for, goals against. Yeah, you look at it. The defense has been just so strong. I talked about that already. Matt Vince is playing at such a unbelievable elite rate at his age. And what we're seeing from this Bandits offense is historic. both Josh Byrne and Dane Smith are on pace for like 170 points or just shy of that. Both of them
Oh,
would be breaking Dane Smith's record. Now, mind you, do I think they can keep up at like an 8.5 point? No, that's not going to happen. But I do think both of them have a legitimate chance to set major records this year. They're getting secondary scoring as well. So I honestly, for me, it's terrifying. It's more of a spot play for me. And like I said, I might be putting my foot in my mouth here, but I just getting Albany in such a very, very vulnerable spot where they have no choice but to win here or at least give it all they got. I'm gonna take the points.
so I'm gonna write you down for plus 3.5 for show purposes, even though it's
Let's
2.5
do
on
it.
cool bet.
I'm taking that extra goal. Give me the extra goal.
As you should. So let's go to Toronto versus Colorado. The Mammoth, and I told Adam Levy this just a few minutes ago. This is the game of the week.
Yeah.
One of these teams is going to feel amazing after this win. The other one's going to be like, dang. I'm surprised you actually wanted this game on your talking pieces today, because sometimes big games like stay away. But what's your feeling? What's your betting angle?
Yeah, I just felt like this game was too big not to talk about it, and to be quite frank, right now Toronto is the favorite at Coolbet at minus a 112, plus 135 if you get them on the minus 1.5. So I mean, in my picks, I have Toronto, to win this game. Now that the line has moved here, I'm not feeling quite as confident here, but I'm still I'm gonna have to stick with it. I think Toronto gets a big win on the road. The way that Tom Schreiber has been playing since he's been injected back into this lineup, the defense with Latrell Harris looks a lot better. I would love to know if Brad Cree is going to be available for this game as well. That would make me feel a lot better here. Despite how well Toronto's offense has looked over the last couple of games, though, this is the Orangeville Bowl between two Orangeville goalies in Nick Rose, who's starting to play a lot better, and of course Dylan Ward, who you are on record saying is having quite the turnaround season. I'm going to go with the under in this game. I think it's going to be a stout, strong defensive battle. It's going to be close because we know both these teams can score, but I think the defenses and goalies are going to prevail here.
Running it down under 23.5 for you. I don't know who Michael with an EAL is, so I'm not gonna read the comment. There you go. Anyways, I also like the under. I believe I put that in my best bets. If not, I let it stay away, but it was like literally right there on my. I love the under. I love that so much from you. Like I feel better now.
I feel better about the under than the Rock money line, to be honest. But those are two official plays for me.
Yeah, me too. Let's talk the other Tucker out game. Las Vegas, who I mentioned before, I mentioned this on Twitter and on the show. If Las Vegas wins this game and Albany loses to Buffalo, which we think might happen, this one obviously a little bit longer of a shot, Vegas has eliminated Albany from the contention of the Tucker Out Cup. That could be big for them. But Georgia, to me, and producer Joe behind the scenes was telling me like blow it up the week, but then we started looking at Vegas getting kind of hot. Do you see us? I mean, is Vegas going to start putting together some wins, or is Georgia like, hey, we were 4-0 at one point, we got to get this done?
I think this is a huge turning point for either team, to be quite frank. When you look at what Georgia has done over the last 3 games, they've lost 3 in a row. They come out the gate on fire, 4-0. A lot of people are like, oh my goodness, Georgia's back. This is a championship contending team. A lot of those games were in overtime wins. A lot of those games were by 1 goal. They had a below, and I think they still do. Their goal differential is in the minus. They're a team that's kind of gotten away here, but at the same time, you've got Lyle Thompson. Andrew Q is one of the most clutch players in the game. Their defense is still, I don't think, the same without Adam Wiedemann. They're really missing him on the back end. Yeah. I hate to say it, but Brett Dobson's had a really, inconsistent start to this year. And for me, this Vegas team is is a lot better than what their record shows, especially as of late. They knock off San Diego 12-10 at home. I thought that was their best performance of the year. I really liked what I saw when they took on Albany at the other Tucker Out Lymphoma game on the road. It was a little bit of a blip against that Saskatchewan team, but I think they're running the ball in transition really well. I think the offense looks a lot more cohesive, and the big thing here is in between the pipes with Getty. Since they moved to Getty, the defense has looked a lot steadier. Justin Getty's looked really good, and I think he's going to play a big factor in this game. So not only am I taking Vegas plus 2.5, it's not an official play, but I'm considering money line on Vegas on Tucker Out night. Coach Williams will be having his boys all fired up, ready to go here.
Plus 180 on DraftKings would hit people in their wallets so good. So we do appreciate you. I almost went with Vegas. I eventually thought, I went back to my preseason just saying, hey, might as well stick with my guns. But we're at the point of the season. It's like you said, put up or shut up. It's now or never.
Yeah, and I just, when you look at the sample size as of late, it's crazy to say, but I just like the way that Vegas has been playing better than Georgia. And I think Georgia's ceiling is way higher than Vegas's ceiling. But right now, it's crazy to say that Vegas, I think, has been a little more of the consistent team in the last couple games.
And for those wondering, Georgia went from versus Ottawa, traveled west to Calgary. Now they're traveling back down to Vegas. I'm not sure if that helps them, or I'm not sure. That definitely doesn't help them. I'm not sure how much it hurts them, but just so people are aware of that as well.
Right. No. Yeah. Good point.
All right. West Coast Showdown, Rush Seals. This game's total is at 22.5 on Bet365, 21.5 everywhere else. I really think, both offenses have been goalies. I like, especially Scigliano. I like him. I like the revenge game for Scigliano, by the way. But how are we feeling Sass and Senior? Are you touching the total, or what are you touching here?
So I think, again, I this is where you really have to pay attention as a sports bettor in lacrosse right now, because this might be an opportunity where you can get a jump on the sports book. Right now, we don't know who's starting for the Rush. Is it Scigliano? We don't know. We haven't heard.
Stupid. Yeah,
we haven't heard. We don't know if it's Scigliano. And if it is Scigliano, I love the Rush at plus money in a revenge spot. If it's Kajzek, and I know I just mentioned we had Thomas Kajzek on the program, 21 years old, still has a year left of junior. He's one of the top goaltending prospects in the game right now, but he's still a young goaltender. He still has a lot to learn, and San Diego's a very hungry team, a team that has underachieved.
Yep.
But so there's no official play until we hear the goalies. Okay. But I think even if it's Kajzek, I think I still want to go Rush, but I'll chicken out and I'll save play here. Rush plus 1.5 right now at CoolBet minus 132. I think that's a really solid number, whether you get whatever goalie it is. And the fact, you know what? I know I said wait. That number now, play it before. Play it before you hear who's starting, because I think 1.5, regardless if it's Kajzek or not, if it is named that Scigliano is the starter, I would not be surprised if we see this closer to a pick'em. I really do. So this is where you can kind of get an advantage on the book. So I'm going to lock in plus 1.5. And then in terms of the total or in terms of a money line play, I wait until you see what the status is of Frank Scigliano.
According to Cody Jensen's video last week, the Rush wanted to sign Lane Rushka or wanted to put him on the squad. Didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Is it possible we see Lane Rushka instead of either of those two, in your opinion?
We could see Lane Rushka backing up as he was signed. They did sign him. They were able to make that move.
Yeah, faster. I saw that. Yeah.
But you saw Kajzek. I mean, he got lit up for nothing almost immediately, and then he turned things around and start. But he was able, for a young goaltender, for a 20-year-old goaltender, to get shellacked like that. and to be able to have the mental toughness to put it on the back burner. And I thought as the game progressed, I thought he was
He made some
better
great
and
saves.
better.
Yeah.
And especially in that fourth quarter, man, like who had this on their bingo card that Thomas Kajzik would outperform Doug Jameson
And
in
would
an
slam the
NLL
door
game.
shut on some great plays, too.
Yeah, he was big down the fourth, and I think he's earned that another opportunity here. But if Chiliano's available and ready to go, you're putting Frankie in between the pipes in a revenge spot, and that's why I love that play at 1.5 even more, because I think if Frank is playing, I don't think that they'll be favorites, but I think it's going to be closer to a pick 'em.
And to be fair, as I'll let you go here, Kaizik's hype is what I wanted Kobe Bowman's hype to be, but unfortunately, that's not happening in Calgary. I'm not happy.
Oh, I know you're not happy, and you know what? The thing is, it's a very tough situation when dealing with these young goaltenders. Basically, what happened with Kajzik is there was no choice. They had no choice but to go to Kajzik. They, if they were able to make that roster move and had Rushka already on the practice roster, they would have been able to make that flip, no problem. If 4 go by Kajzik, Rushka's going in. The fact that it was Keegan Bell, a player in the backup position, they had no choice but to ride with their guy. And shout out to Keegan Bell. That was awesome. Check out their the Sask Rush social channels. Some great Mike videos. That is the ultimate big team guy. You love to see it. So I was super pumped to see that. And I think Kajzik, if he gets another opportunity, we'll see. The crazy thing is, Mike, with this game, and I can't believe I didn't even bring it up. We could have 2 goaltenders that when you combine their age, they're just about the same age as Matt Vince with Chris Origlieri, who's I think 23, and then Thomas Kajzik, who's 20 or 21, and about 43, and that's just right around Vino's age. Unbelievable stuff.
It's insane. so I learned from Pat today is Las Vegas money line. And T-Bone is the nickname of Thomas Kajzik. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there you go. T-Bone. Yeah, T-Bone and the human crowbar. You'll have to listen to the Off the Crossbar podcast to find out what those nicknames come all about.
Oh, I will. And thank you, sir, for your time. Send Teddy our love. Have a great call. Is Teddy with you this week?
Not Teddy this week. It's Matt Cullen and then Mackie Jenner on the sidelines.
Let's go. Go Halifax. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Pat Gregoire, everybody, at P. Greggy on Twitter. All right, when we come back, we're going to wrap it up with our picks and best bet. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME get you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
What up, everybody? It's producer Joe, the baddest daddy in producing history, here to tell you all about the baddest, daddiest merch store. Go to the link tree in the bios of either our IG or Twitter, and from there you can access merch for the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. I repeat, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. We got hoodies for when your girl comes over and wants to cuddle. Just don't let her take it when she leaves. How about a baddest daddy cap for when you lie about how much you hate Mike in this show, but you're still here? We've got beanies so you can do that in the cold too. Guys, what's going to happen when all these moms see you dropping your kid off at practice in this thing? Want to sip like a daddy and feel like a baddie? Check out that mug. 6-time NLL champ Johnny T and savior of my Buffalo sports childhood knows what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm really going to need you to start buying shit because I'm getting sick of doing Instacart. But yeah, go check it out so you can start repping and supporting the brand. Producer Daddy out.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tickets.12onsports.com. Check it out. Get your tickets for less. This is some interesting beef in the comments here. Hunter Smith says, Pats looks like a Syracuse fan who never went there. Gave love to producer Joe afterwards. And then Pat Gregoire said, Hunter Smith, I'm actually a Notre Dame fan that never went there. Interesting. We got a bunch of stuff in the comments there. Tickets.12onsports.com. We appreciate you chiming in as well on the comments on YouTube. Pick'em! There's the graphic we wanted last week. Folks, I took a 2-game lead over producer Joe, who is currently in shambles. We both have Vancouver. We both have Ottawa. We both have Buffalo. We both have Philly. We both have the Swarm. We both have the Rush. And for those of us listening on audio, like, well, there's one more game that we're going to be different on, right? Yes, as you see it on the screen here. I've got Toronto Rock. He's got the Mammoth in the Loud House. That is going to be the game that either makes me have a 3-game lead or producer Joe might get one back on me there. Records, I'm 29-20. Producer Joe is 27-22. After a 4-0 week on best bets for me and 3-1 for producer Joe, here are our picks for this weekend. I've got the Warriors money line in Halifax at -122 on FanDuel. Calgary versus Ottawa under 22.5 on Bet365. I've got the Swarm and the Desert Dogs under 22.5 on FanDuel. And I've got the Rush and the Seals. Give me the extra goal, and we're going to take the under 22.5. I don't care who's in goalie. I don't care if my mother's in goalie. We're going to go under 22.5. Producer Joe is going to go with the Bandits money line, which is a healthy -280 on FanDuel. That number is climbing, by the way. You might want to get that when you can if you want to parlay with something or just take -280 by yourself. Wings to cover 1.5 against Rochester. I like that bet as well that producer Joe has. And he's going to go with the Rush and Seals over 21.5. Here's the thing. We can both win all of our bets as long as that Rush Seals game stays right at 22 goals. That is it. No more, no less, no more. 22 even. That's what we need. That's what we get. And on Coolbet, that game is at 22 even. So let's hope Coolbet pushes so me and producer Joe can have a 7-0 combined week. Again, 7-1 last week. Why not 7-0 this week? We appreciate you tuning in to today's awesome show on YouTube and Roku, courtesy of 12 on Sports. Thank you for commenting on YouTube. Reminder, you are the bread. You are the butter. You are the, you are the hungry dogs run faster to my Pat Gregoire betting analysis. For our guests like Pat and Adam and those to come and those prior, thank you so much for sharing your audience with us, giving us validity and relevance. For Bigo, who's always tapping it up on social media, and of course, the baddest dad in producing history, producer Joe, I'm your host, Mike, saying have a great weekend. Enjoy the game. See you Monday, same time, same place. Reminder, follow us on social media at Daily Dive LAX, and of course, at the thank you, producer Joe. Follow us at Daily Dive LAX and find all our socials there. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys Monday. Have a great day. Bye.
I am a person that believes in second chances. I think America is the land of second chances, except for when it comes to this dude, Mr. Jabba the Hutt, you fat, slovenly, no good, lazy. Oh, come on.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.